65. FM Talk 1065. Gulf Coast Weather Authority.
Hey, from Dan Brennan. Join us Wednesday mornings at 7:15 for Time to Get Real with Shannon Hesse, broker at Wise Living Real Estate in Fairhope. We'll talk housing trends, investment properties, interest rates, and more. That's Time to Get Real, Wednesday mornings at 7:15 on FM Talk.
Pretty good, that stuff.
1065.
Mike Bailey, a pioneer of the Gulf Coast wine scene and award-winning food entrepreneur.
I know a lot of you wondering what to do with your moon pies. Well, I've got some wine suggestions for you. Lemon moon pies, Sauvignon Blanc, Chenin Blanc, or Pinot Grigio.
Stuart Rebs Donald, acclaimed food and travel writer and world-class chef.
I was chef de casserole. I made the casseroles in the frozen food department.
For more than a decade, they combine their expertise to answer your questions and introduce you to the culinary movers and shakers you want or ought to know. Four-time Best Award finalists, 12-time Nephi Award losers. They are the dynamic duo of dining.
Drop, keep screaming for more.
Mike and Stu on FM Talk 1065.
And before we get started, Sue had a request here.
I love the Commodores, don't you?
I do love the Commodore. Yeah. And Lionel.
Lionel.
That's right. So, what is the reason you?
Well, everybody loves the Commodores.
Yeah. Okay.
Everybody in the
Oh,
world is a
Commodore.
Commodores fan. Love the
Okay.
Commodores.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, have you got Georgia on your mind?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
We
good.
covered, did y'all?
I don't know. I don't bet.
if you're a 37-point favorite and you lose, you didn't cover.
Yeah, I'd say that. But anyway,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Remarkable day of college football.
It was entertaining, to say the least, because I watched a lot of games. Oh, by the way, welcome to Sip and Chew Show with Mike and Stu. I watched some incredible games yesterday. I'm going like, see, that's what I like. I like excitement like that. I don't like a blowaway. And who would ever thought? Who would ever? 5 nationally ranked teams got beat yesterday.
Yeah. And now Alabama fans know what it feels like to get beat by New Mexico State, because Vanderbilt's quarterback was the quarterback that beat us last year. Their offensive coordinator was the head coach at New Mexico
Wow.
State. And New Mexico State was an 8-win team last year.
We
They were
know-
conference champions.
We know what it's like to get beat by Monroe, Louisiana, too.
Yeah.
So,
I just
Yeah.
got one word for it all.
what?
Oops.
It was a fun day.
Yeah.
It really was. And,
Yeah.
And that's what's going to be good about the 12-team playoff system.
Is the 4 blowouts
you
in the first week.
You can still lose. You could probably lose 2 games and still make the playoffs.
Yeah. Not if one of them's to Vanderbilt.
So what
Nah.
does a Bama family eat after a whooping like that?
Crap. Lots and lots of
I
crap.
ate breakfast last night. I fixed breakfast. It did change my appetite one bit. So
And then did you notice that Cal blew a 25-point lead in the fourth quarter?
yeah, it's like the Atlanta Falcons and the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no one had any faith
They
that
had
the Falcons would
A
win.
28-point lead.
There was no point in that Super Bowl where people thought the Falcons were going to win. But I
Boy, nobody thought Vandy was going to win either. So,
Vandy did.
well,
Yeah.
yeah,
And dude, this wasn't a fluke win.
No.
They soundly whipped Alabama.
yeah, they did.
And people were like, well, if they played it 10 more times, how many do you think Alabama would win? Honestly, after what I saw, none. They were a better team, better coached.
Yeah.
They weren't better athletes, but they were better mathletes.
Mm.
I'm sure they weren't doing it to try to cover the spread, but just win. That's all they want. They didn't want to do.
Yeah.
Goalpost,
But that was-
Goalpost lost.
Yeah, that was all. Did you track it all the way down the 3-mile
All the way
trip
down
down
the river,
Broadway
yeah.
into the Cumberland River?
I saw that.
That was fantastic. And somebody asked, hey, when Arkansas, they beat Tennessee, where did they take the goalpost? Somebody said, Walmart. I said Tyson
But
Chicken.
here's the thing. Why do you tear your own stadium up and then throw it in the river?
It's Vanderbilt. Do you know the last time they beat the #1 team in the country? Never. They are 1-50 against top 5 teams. 1-50. So fantastic way to go.
I thought it was 1-60. 60.
Well, I saw a 1-50. It might have been a 1-60. They haven't been this prominent since Bill Wade.
Yeah, but why you tear your stadium up?
Have you seen the stadium?
We're happy.
It's already in construction. It's been in construction for 2 years and only sat 23,000 people yesterday.
Yeah, that's where your student fees go. Come on.
Yeah. And can they afford it? Absolutely. If you knew what tuition was there, those kids deserve every penny of it. And my suggestion was the SEC is going to fine them for storming the field, which is absolutely stupid. But
on the SEC's part.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's their field. They pay for it. The SEC doesn't. Honestly, the commissioner doesn't have any legal right to fine them for that. None. He doesn't own that property.
But they'll gladly pay it.
Yeah. My suggestion was start a GoFundMe. Because every football fan in America, not a Tuscaloosa fan, would contribute. And with the excess money, they could actually have a real NIL deal.
And build a real stadium.
Yeah.
Breaking down the rim. You know?
I don't understand. They've got a professional football stadium 3 miles away.
I know.
Why not just play the games there? Because Vanderbilt is cheap. You know, they're the only athletic program that's not an athletic program in the conference.
What does that mean?
They fall under intramural sports.
Wow.
That's who they shut down their actual athletic department.
That's why you have an intramural program.
Yep.
Huh.
That just beat the #1 team in the country soundly.
Oops.
Yeah.
It happens.
There's a word again.
That's what I love. That's what I love about college football.
Yeah, exactly.
Better than more than do pro football.
Well, yeah.
Go Browns, by the way. Go Browns, by the way.
Yeah, I don't enjoy any aspect of pro football anymore. It's just it's so scripted.
I haven't watched a single game this year.
I haven't watched one in 3 years. What's the point? I know the outcome's predetermined before kickoff.
Yeah.
So what's the point? But yesterday was a great day in college football. I'm sure the tailgating was just fantastic, except at Vanderbilt because there's no place to tailgate there.
I saw several of my friends at the Ole Miss game.
You live in Nashville still. What is the tailgating?
There isn't one. There's no place to tailgate there. I tried to tailgate a game one time. We ended up at the end of a cul-de-sac in a neighborhood.
Wow.
Within sight of the stadium. Because, the stadium is in the middle of neighborhood.
What I used to love
the
about
Nashville Row, I suppose.
It's on West End Avenue, close to Elliston Place, which anybody that's partied in Nashville knows Elliston Place, the section called Rock Block. There's the Elliston Place soda fountain that was there, and exit in. And
you say that about the cul-de-sac. I used to love when Senior Bowl come around. You had to park 10, 12 blocks away because the parking lot was full of campers and ESPN and all that. But what I would love to do it because everybody in the neighborhood opened their yards up to park in, and they were all cooking. Everyone was cooking, and
fried catfish, barbecue.
Oh my God, the food was unbelievable on the way to the stadium, and even on the way back, except if it was a night game, unless it was a game, late afternoon or evening game, you kind of run back to your car. But during the day, man, the party atmosphere was good. The food, I saw it was smoky around the stadium because all the food they were cooking, they were just cooking, fried catfish, fried chicken. Yeah, grilling, like, oh my God.
And back to Steve's point, what do you do in Nashville? Well, it's Nashville.
Yeah,
you've got so many great clubs and restaurants, and all of that stuff. You've got Lower Broad, you get the Gulch, which was nothing but warehouses when I lived there. And there was one club there that was called the Cannery because it was an old tuna fish cannery.
Yeah.
But now it's all high rises with chef-driven restaurants.
Where do they catch tuna fish out up there?
They just shipped it.
As a cannery.
Yeah.
They shipped it.
In the heart of the South.
Yeah. They drove it up there from Mobile.
I could see it.
On a flatbed pickup.
I guess.
Yeah.
That makes all kind of
sense. Well, other parts of the country that are nowhere near the coastline still have seafood.
Yeah.
They still have tuna.
But a cannery? That's weird.
Well, they've got to put it in a can. Which brings up an interesting point, and we'll talk about it in the next segment because I know we got less than a minute, about the word can.
Okay.
and cannery,
All
all of that. That most people, conventional wisdom, they have the entire thing backwards.
Hey, at the end of our show, we're gonna at the bottom of the hour, we're gonna have Joey Mason from Mesa Hill Farms on talking about not canning stuff,
No,
but
smoking stuff.
smoking the farm. They're gonna smoke the farm. I want to see that.
Yeah. Hey, Willie Nelson's famous for smoking his farm.
251-343-0106 is the Callahan's Irish Social. Call and text them.
What's this? This is juice. Uh-oh, I don't like juice.
Listen each Sunday at noon for coasting
Twitter and the Bama online message board
Gulf
were
Coast
just
Financial
nothing
Advisors
but
discussing
one
the
after
right
fire
tips
the coach,
and
fire
tricks
the
for
coach,
you to
fire the
achieve
coach.
the retirement of your dreams. Sunday at noon on
Yeah,
FM Talk
And somebody sent a
1065.
message to Jalen
Fall is on
Milrow
its
said,
way,
just
and
turn your
Cammie is
phone
looking
off
forward
if
to
you're not
cooler
going to
weather with
appreciate
her
the
fall
gas rates and
flavors.
racist
Yep,
comments.
Cammie's Old Dutch ice creams
And-
and all
and they're
flavors have
absolutely
dropped. Choose from carrot cake,
There
German
are
chocolate
those-
cake,
well,
pumpkin spice, and caramel
you know, the
apple
people that
pie.
think
Before
going
the
through the
game,
city
take
park
note
is
just
fun
because any
that
time is
shooting
a
your
good time
neighbor
for
is
Cammie's Old Dutch
just
ice
as
cream.
bad if their
Visit
team
Mobile's
gets beat.
oldest ice cream shop, Cammie's Old Dutch at the corner of
That's
Old
great.
Shell and Florida
Yeah.
Street. The Creamery, 4380 Holmesville Road, and Fairhope's newest ice cream shop, Cammie's number 3, 9555 County Road 24.
If you or someone you know is
Oh, they were talking
struggling
about
with
Showboating.
addiction, please call this toll-free number
Yeah.
right now,
All the boys that do Showboating things, they've been doing
800-410-4036.
a lot
That's
like
800-410-4036. Calling your
I
addiction
can see
team.
the
You're taking
disgust
the
on
first steps to
everybody.
recovery.
See
Don't
those
fight
boys
addiction
acting up
alone.
and
Their
that. He was
advisors
so
are ready
happy.
to take your call.
He
Your
was
future
not
is
late.
still a bright place. The help you need could be one
Oh,
call
No.
away. 800-410-4036.
Because if he
That's
doesn't tarnish his
800-410-4036. This call is please confidential. And if you have private insurance,
But if the next guy comes in and wins 2 national
even if you
championships,
there's no need to let addiction ruin your life.
there's always, it's just like any guy goes from one
At
school team to another.
800-410-4036. That's 800-410-4036. Make that free call now. 800-410-4036.
It is.
Well,
Well, it is. I mean, I'm not going to sit through it just to hear Nick Saban say something intelligent.
Little did they
I mean,
know
Kirk
that
Street
their
is
house
just-
would become the
He's
siblings'
obnoxious.
forever home.
He's
We had
so
to
full
help
of
them adjust
himself.
to the idea that they wouldn't have to leave.
He's
Children
extremely
in
arrogant.
foster care have
Well, that's
lived
what
and survived
they
so
created
much.
there.
But we had to help them
Yeah,
process
well,
their
created
trauma.
there, was created by Kirk
And
James.
now to hear children say that they know they have a mother
Back in
and
the day.
father who take care of us, teach us, and love us.
Well, it's better than that, what I see on
Everything.
Fox News.
The
Fox
Jane
Fox
Thomas
News.
Foundation for Adoption is
their game day,
committed to finding
SEC
safe,
sport day card.
permanent
I don't
homes
understand why
for
anybody watches
grieving
any national
children in
program.
foster care.
There's
And
plenty of
not only
stuff
love these
online
kids,
that's
I am just so
your
proud of
team
them.
and just your
You
team.
can help.
Visit
I like the
Thomas
personal stories when they talk
Foundation.org.
about a kid that overcame all
Mobile Radio,
kinds of
all your
different.
family
And that's always
reaches
nice.
is FM Talk 1065's Dr. Bill Williams with a 3-decade
It's
track
just-
record
it's
of
just
getting it
garbage
right.
television.
Get your weather
Oh,
from
that
Dr.
guy,
Bill
yeah,
Williams
been
4
kicking
times an hour every weekday morning on FM Talk 1065. To get on the line, call 343-0106. Now back to Mike and Stu.
Hey, yesterday,
Yeah,
not today,
not today.
yesterday,
Not
I didn't know
tomorrow.
what I wanted to eat. I
Oh.
did not know what I wanted to eat.
Okay.
So I went ahead and wandered on into Bob's Downtown Diner.
Uh-huh. Is that on the corner of Fat and Happy?
It always is, has been, and always will be. But I looked at the menu and I looked at front, back, front, back, front, back. And then all of a sudden I saw it. Meatloaf sandwich.
Ah,
Meatloaf sandwich.
sandwich.
It was 1:30 in the afternoon.
Mhm.
To me, it wasn't breakfast time anymore. I like breakfast in the morning. I like breakfast at night,
Mhm.
but not at 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But I got that meatloaf sandwich and it was good. It was dynamite.
Excellent.
So great service, great time there. But if you haven't had a meatloaf sandwich, you can try it along with the meatloaf omelet. That's right. So Bob's Downtown Diner, corner Fat and Happy, which is North Jackson and St. Francis Street. And
Yeah, sure.
Hall Sausage and Meats, wholesale meats.
Mhm.
Go ask for it, folks. It's in Baldwin County now. It's been delivered over there to the Greers, to the to the Piggly Wigglies, trying to get it in the Rouses. So if you're in the Rouses, go over there and say, hey, I want some.
Where the halls at, y'all?
Where's the halls? Where's the halls meet?
Eat halls, y'all.
That's it. That's it. And we want to thank Butch Cassidy's over there on Florida Street in the heart of Floshell, Alabama. And go by and see the mayor, Roy Seaver, the mayor of Floshell. So,
When are they open? What's the hours?
11 to 9, Monday through Saturday.
Thank you. I was gonna stop in. I was in there about 9:30
Yeah, they're closed.
Friday.
Yeah,
He used to be open later. COVID kind of killed that.
Yeah.
And what a lot of places found out during COVID is they were losing money being open past 9.
A lot of times what you just get people just still sitting there, and you're keeping employees on the clock, and you're waiting for them to leave.
Yeah, and it's very important, no matter what business it is, retail business, every minute an employee is on the clock after closing time is lost money.
Mm-hmm.
It is blowing your profitability.
Makes sense.
And that's why restaurants, they found out in COVID, hey, we close at 9 o'clock. Sure, we're doing $100 less every day, but our profit margins skyrocket.
Yeah.
Because they're just wasting money being
That
open
makes
from
sense.
9 to 11.
Right.
You weren't making any money off the people coming in. They were just paying people to be there 2 extra hours.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you don't see as much of the late night now. We're just not a town that people stay up past 9 o'clock.
Yeah. There are places that do stay.
Right. And they get the bulk of the business,
Right.
of the people that are out there. And that kind of works out. It's
And if it makes sense for your business, like Load Up Your Garden.
Right, exactly.
Or Aztec is on April 4. I think they stay up to 1 or 2 a.m.
Really?
Because they're catching the after work.
And they've also got South Alabama over there too. So they've got.
And you got Providence Hospital right across the street.
Yeah.
And when the nurses and maybe the doctors get off work, they can go in there, get them up.
Have a margarita.
There you
Margarita
go.
and a taco.
Yeah. Hey, you said before we went on break, you were going to talk about canning.
Okay, yeah. We're all familiar with a can.
Mm-hmm.
The food that's in it's called canned goods. We don't call them canned goods because they're in a can. We call the can a can because canned goods go into it. Canning existed long before we had metal cans.
Right.
When they invented this, basically what they invented was a metal disposable jar. Well, that's a lot to say. So they just said, we'll call the metal disposable jar a can. But people think it's called canned goods or canning because you put it in a can. It's backwards. It's called a can because you put canned goods into it.
I just thought it was because we can.
We can.
You can, you can.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey, how you doing?
I know people are going to have questions about this.
Okay, what is it?
But let's talk about what today is.
Sunday.
Right. What national day it is.
National Commodore Day.
Today is National Noodle Day, and you could probably shed some light on what is a noodle.
Pasta. Yeah.
It's all different types.
Yeah. Hundreds of different shapes, but all pretty much taste exactly the same. Angel hair tastes just like fettuccine, tastes just like macaroni.
Mm-hmm.
Macaroni and probably noodles. Most people think of noodles, they're going to think of long, skinny things like spaghetti.
Yeah.
Or they're going to think of various types of macaroni. There are about 200, I believe it is, types of macaroni. The elbow stuff is not called macaroni. It's called elbow macaroni. Macaroni is a hollow or concave pasta that holds sauce in it. You had one, I forget where we had it, but the bucatini, which looks like spaghetti, but there's a hole running through the middle of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and which makes it a macaroni.
Was it at Bella Italia?
No, it wasn't. It was some event we went to.
Okay.
And they did a course with bucatini, and
okay,
you really liked it. So the flavors don't change.
Okay.
What about ramen? What about ramen?
It's not an Italian style pasta. That's a rice noodle.
Okay, so but you're just talking
but
Italian
noodles.
only.
Well, today's National Noodle Day.
That's what I was saying.
Noodle Day, so it could be, I guess, any
Yeah.
kind.
Noodles.
And in Asia, which is where noodles come from.
Okay.
And I believe Marco Polo took some of that concept back to Italy, and it evolved into the pastas that we're used to from European cuisine. But in Asia, they make noodles out of all kinds of stuff. There's glass noodles that are completely translucent. I'm not sure what that's made of, But udon, which is made out of buckwheat.
Mhm.
And then they've got, they'll just throw some vermicelli into something. They'll throw spaghetti into something. They got rice.
Now, I
noodles.
don't know if I've ever had buckwheat. What would buckwheat be?
Well, it was, I believe that was what was in the udon noodles that we had at that place in Beverly Hills,
Okay.
the ramen place that we went
Okay.
to. I think you had a udon in your ramen
Okay.
as opposed to a ramen noodle, but you had that
Udon,
black ramen.
Okay.
Yeah, a ramen is a type of noodle as well. It's, I believe, rice. That's a rice noodle. But the buckwheat is really great because it's great for celiacs and anybody that doesn't want any gluten, because buckwheat doesn't contain gluten. It's also extremely healthy. And Asia is full of different types of noodles. So National Noodle Day, head on down to Slurp Society.
Those are called cellophane noodles or fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes call it glass noodles.
Yeah.
We have our own built-in
Starch and water.
fact checker here,
Well,
right over there.
Well, that's what a producer's
I
supposed to do.
love it. I
That's
love
what a
it.
producer's supposed to do, I thought.
I love it. I love it. Also, today is National Orange Wine Day. What's an orange wine, you ask? Well, it's not made out of orange juice. It's made out of white grapes, and they leave it in vats in contact with the skins longer. And it's also gets exposed to oxygen longer during the fermentation process, which usually wine, oxygen is its enemy. But in this case, it creates like a bruising which comes off to give the color of the wine, which is an amber color, and they call it orange wine. It's a French thing. So National Orange Wine Day. Hey, we want to say happy birthday to Chris Brill.
happy birthday,
Today
Chris.
is his birthday, and tomorrow is our buddy Panini Pete. Panini Pete's birthday.
And for people that don't recognize the name Chris Brill, he's the owner of Sim's House of Pizza and Lucedale House of Pizza.
Ah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Man, y'all have learned so much today. And just this
We can take the rest of the show off.
Well, no, because we got a special guest next part of the show.
Next segment.
Next
That's
segment.
the word you're fishing.
That's the fishing. Speaking of fishing,
Yes, sir.
did you catch anything, or did you go fishing?
I went to Cedar Point Pier Wednesday night, met my brother down there and a couple of friends, and only thing we put out was bait for the big stuff, the big redfish.
Yeah.
So we didn't catch anything. Steve said his buddy Mike was on the other end of the pier. We couldn't get in on that, and I believe he caught 2 or 3 big drum and 2 or 3 big redfish. But he'd been there since 9 o'clock in the morning. Was going to be there till after midnight.
When I was younger, in my late teens and early 20s, I used to do that.
Well, all you're doing out there is just sitting down, enjoying the night. And we all had great conversation. And there were people all around us that were just fishing for the white trout, and they were just snatching them in constantly.
I'm too fidgety for that. I just can't do it. I can't sit still long.
Yeah. Well, you can't have an open
Hands in
container.
my pants sometimes.
Yeah. There's no alcoholic
Oh.
beverages allowed out there. Otherwise, you'd be out there talking all night long.
Oh, I ain't going there.
Yeah.
I won't go there.
Yeah.
There was a day though that you could.
Yeah. Well, that was not a good idea. And that's why it's heavily enforced too. Because this summer they had to close the restrooms at night because of drunks and vandals and tourists.
And I call them tourists.
They were
Tourists.
tourizing. But I'm gonna try. As long as the weather's good Wednesday night, I'll probably head back down there. And I think I'm going to go for some white trout this time.
Mhm.
And who knows, if we're catching up, maybe we'll sneak over to Roy's Thursday afternoon when nobody's looking, Roy, and I'll fry up some white trout
There you go.
just for us. He brought in some speckled trout a couple of weeks ago, just for him and a buddy that was sitting out at the bar. And he came in, made big old fish platters for them and hush puppies and French
I didn't
fries.
know about this.
Yeah.
All right. When we come back, folks, we're going to be on the phone with Joey Mason of Mason Hill Farms, and we're going to see what's going on.
FM Talk 1065, the Gulf Coast Weather Authority.
Good morning, Mr. Mason.
How are you, sir?
I'm well, thank you. This is Steve, producer at FM Talk 1065, getting you ready here for Sip and Chew, we got you transferred in the studio, so all we're going to do is let them talk to you, and however long it goes. This is the longer segment, so it's about 15, 16 minutes. So glad you're here with us. Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
All right.
Has a critical need for caring men and women to provide safe and supportive homes for all adults. Make a difference in someone's life. Be an adult foster care provider because love never ages. For more information, visit dhr.alabama.gov/AFC. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Human Resources, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
It's a key ingredient called Tesnor. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. Total T is backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym
and in the bedroom. I'm so glad I sent them a text with my complimentary bottle. Text ROCK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone brand at GNC and Walmart. Now we will also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, the newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ROCK to 321-321. That's ROCK to 321-321.
Hello again, friends. I'm Randy Burke, inviting you to join me, Coach Rick Cleveland, and
but I'll
Coach
tell you
Mark
this,
Glassberg
Luke
for
is
the
as
Top
good as
Attractive
any
Express
cat
Sports Report. We'll be coming to
catching
you
and
live
stalking
from the Eastern Shore
Christian
Toyota and
like
Hyundai Studios for 2 hours beginning at 8
Well,
a.m.
Rat
every
Terry,
Saturday
we used to have
morning.
one when I was a kid growing
Coaches,
up. My dad
athletes,
said it was
administrators, and more.
interesting
So
to
we'll
watch
keep you
her
up to date
work.
on all things prep along
She
the
would
Gulf
crouch on
Coast
top of the
and
air
the state of
conditioner
Alabama.
for an
Wake up
hour
with the
or
Prep
two.
Sports Report team this
Never
Saturday
moving,
morning
waiting
starting
for
at
Rat
8
to
a.m.
cook
right
it.
here on FM Talk 106.5.
Mike Bailey, Stuart Reb Donald, devoted to the complete gastronomic experience.
I want big butter and egg man.
Mike and Stu on FM Talk 106.5.
Is she saying a big butt or Eggman?
You talking about you or me?
No, the lady's thinking. She said she wants a big butt or Eggman.
Butter.
Oh,
and
butter.
Egg. Butter and egg.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Both y'all well-rounded enough to know that.
Hey, you talk about our physique.
No, just your experience.
Okay. Well, I think we got on the line. We got Joey Mason from Mason Hill. Or Joey, are you on the phone?
Did you put your hat on, Joey?
How you doing, guys? How y'all doing?
We're doing great, man. Good to hear from
Did
you.
you switch to your cowboy hat yet?
Yeah, so I've had it on for the last couple of days. We've been up here in Talladega. Alabama Cattlemen's Association asked us to go up here to help celebrate 60 years of beef for the month.
Cool.
They'll be coming back to the event we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But thank y'all so much for having me on here.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us all about it. Tell us everything we need to know.
Everything in the world about beef.
So I'll give you the elevator speech. My name's Joey Mason. I own a little farm called Mason Hills Farm. We raise our own animals at our farm, and we have local farmers that produce for us. And then we built a beef and pork processing facility on our farm. We're under USDA inspection. We've added the ability to smoke products and further add value to these products. So everything's grown right here. And we have a retail store at our farm, and then we're opening another one up November 1 in Ocean Springs. And what you called me to ask about or to talk about was our event called Smoke on the Farm, where we're having a barbecue competition. Friday night, there'll be an SDA state competition, 2 SDA state competitions on Saturday, and then a barbecue competition, People's Choice voting wise, for Saturday, and then a judged Herschel Burger competition. There'll be live music, petting zoo, inflatables for the kids. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're raising money for Victory Health Partners. And so we really love the work they're doing over there. It's Christ-centered. And we're just trying to help give back to the community.
Well, I think you're doing a fine job. And, you know, you and I got to hang out a little bit at the Outdoor Fest a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
And you were slinging those Herschel burgers and doing that brisket. And I see where you saw the little video I did about
it, yes, sir.
Yeah, better brisket than I got in Texas, and that's high praise because I'm sure you know they flat know how to do brisket in Texas.
Well, they do, yes, sir. But we're here making our stand in the great state of Alabama, trying to put it on the map. You know?
Right, and you know, I think what made it so good was it was the same approach that they get in Texas. The cow did not come from Australia or Mexico or Argentina. Right. The cow came from Grand Bay, Alabama.
Yes, sir.
And it's a noticeable increase in quality when you do that. And boy, you had it so nice and crispy on the edges. Oh my goodness. It was a religious experience.
Oh, thank you so much. The brisket that you ate was actually smoked at our farm under USDA inspection, and then we vacuum sealed them into 1 pound packages so you can heat them up really easy in water. But we put it on the flat top grill, crisped it up a little bit for you. And since we met last time, we have some new barbecue sauces that we've launched called Ranch Juice. We have 2 tomato-based, 1 mustard-based, and a mayo-based, and we just launched those last week.
I've done a mustard-based sauce too that comes from the Carolinas for people who don't know, and they are absolutely delicious. I call mine kakalaki sauce.
Yes, sir. We call ours utter butter.
That is fantastic.
The udder butter.
Yeah. Well,
yes,
well, Mike's eyebrow kind of went up when you said you were having a barbecue competition, and I know that's his way of thinking. Wonder if they need a judge.
Well, Mike, we'd love for you to come. We'll have to get with. I think Danny was on here, or he said he was coming on this morning, and we'll just have to get with him. And we'd love to have you as a judge. I know there's room.
Okay. All right.
When was the last time you went to Grand Bay, Mike?
It's been a little while. It's been a little while. I used to have friends there, which they moved. They ended up moving.
Oh, I
passed by on my way to when I go to hang out in Biloxi or Ocean Springs.
What part of Grand Bay are you in? My brother lives off Henderson Camp.
So we are on Henderson Camp Road.
Okay. So that's why he always sings your praises, because you're neighbors.
Yes, sir. And you said you go to Ocean Springs. We're opening a new store there.
Oh, cool.
Before the Peter Anderson Festival. Hopefully November 1st is when we're going to have our soft opening. And we're just trying to bring a farm to table back to Ocean Springs. And we're going to be right there where the old shrimp basket used to be.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's gonna be a busy weekend, because I know that you got the art festival going on. You got the oyster festival going on that same weekend. You got a gumbo competition going on to Wharf that same weekend. You got the Blue Angel Air Show.
It must be October.
That's November 2nd. End of November. I mean, first weekend in November. It's just like busy.
I have a quick question for you. How do you age your beef? I noticed you say it's 14 days aged. What was that process?
So when we bring the animals in, we dispatch the animal, and then we, after we split them in half, because we age the whole half of beef.
Okay.
So if you're buying a half of beef from us, or a whole beef, or a quarter, or about a piece, you're getting beef that has been aged at a minimum of 14 days. And what does that do? That allows us to take out, it does a few things. One, moisture comes out because we lose 1% moisture a day in the aging process. So when you buy a pound of protein from us, you're buying more of a pound. It's not that wet age that has a lot of water in it. It's not going to shrink as much as you would from the stores. And then gravity and rigor mortis kind of help with the tenderization of the beef. And this, it really makes an excellent, all the way from our ground beef to our New York strips, fillets, ribeyes. It makes it really good thing.
So you're doing a dry age process with that?
Yes, sir. We dry age the whole carcass.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And the other thing it does, Steve, is it intensifies the flavor, because you're getting rid of water, which, as water does, water sinks down.
Right.
And like Joey was saying, what you buy at the supermarket isn't just the water that was in the animal. They add another 30% to get that weight up to sell it to you. So a lot of what you're buying at the grocery store is just water.
So they're spraying their meat, essentially watering it down.
They're injecting it and almost brining it.
Interesting.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So but you don't add any other, ingredients or any other flavoring or anything of that nature?
No, sir. Ours is 100% beef, and we did that because I started this farm 3.5 years ago, not having any background in agriculture whatsoever, and I wanted to know where our proteins come from. And so we started with beef, learning how to raise the animals, and then I built the processing plant, which is about 12,000 square foot, and we're the only USDA inspected plant locally. And then we delved into pork, and we have some producers that produce some chicken for us. So it really is becoming a movement and experience. We're on seasoning line now. We have our barbecue sauce line. We have 7 different trademarks under us. So we have a dog food line. We have just various things because we want to be good stewards of what we've been given and utilize the whole animal.
Yes.
Yeah. The movement that he's referring to is called ethical ranching or ethical butchery. And people don't understand, and Joey gets this because he does it firsthand. That cow that's treated nicely is always going to be more tender than the cattle that they just throw into a truck, travel everywhere. The animals are kept under stress because they're in an unnatural environment. It has a negative effect on the flavor and the tenderness of the meat. Not to mention, this animal is giving its life for you for dinner. You should treat it nicely. Simple as that. But you get better quality.
Adrenaline is a heck of a drug. And if adrenaline is pumping through the animal because of its fear or whatever, it's going to greatly impact the quality of the final product.
Never thought of that.
Yeah, that's why a lot of deer hunters, they really want that clean shot.
Yeah.
They want to kill it. They don't want it to run because then the adrenaline gets pumping. It's all throughout the body, and that's when it gets really gamey. Is you're eating adrenaline. And you want to avoid that as much as possible. Plus, I don't think consuming adrenaline from another creature is probably better for your overall health.
Right. No, it probably increases your own stress level. You have a really impressive website, masonhillsfarm.com, and I went to the shop. I didn't realize how much product you have.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you. And we're having a blast doing this, and we're trying to figure out where we belong in the market. People vote with their dollars, and so there's been a lot of support. We obviously need more support, and so we have our own bacon line, we have our own sausage line,
and you have something called steak butter. What is that?
Oh yeah.
So these are our seasonings that are made locally as well. We have steak butter. All I do is steak. Steak butter is it's a steak butter. It's a dry rub that has some salt in it, and none of our seasonings have MSG. And so we try to make sure that it's healthy for you. We have a ghost pepper rub called Swamp Cannon. We have pork around and find out. That is our pork seasoning. And we have blow the coop. That's our chicken seasoning. And just several more. All I do is steak, Mike's all-purpose.
Named after Mike Bailey, right?
Yeah, well.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes sir. So,
very impressive.
Now, to be honest with you, I don't need to be a judge. I want to be. I just love to come and watch and observe that day and
eat.
Maybe eat.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a little bit about how the weekend is going to go. Friday night, we'll have the SCA state competition. We're going to have a VIP tent set up for people to come and eat our products. We will. It's the VIP tent. It's $100 to get in, but we're going to feed you Friday, all day Saturday, and then half a day Sunday, and you get free entry to the event, which costs $15. And so Friday night is steak night. We have our steaks, which are ribeyes. We'll have. We're gonna get some water buffalo brought in. We're gonna get some camel ribeyes brought in.
Really?
I've never eaten camel.
Yeah.
We have some A5 Wagyu that just got delivered last week.
Nice.
Just some different kind of experiences that most people would never get is what we're trying to accomplish. You can't get a full steak, but you can get some samplings of different things. And you know, it'll be all non-alcoholic beverages there. You can bring whatever you want. And then Saturday we'll serve breakfast. We'll have live music, lunch, and then dinner again. And then Sunday we're going to have kind of a, you know, church service out there, and just it's going to be a lot of fun.
Where can they go to get any more information or tickets?
Yes, sir. SmokeOnTheFarm.org.
All right, Joe, we appreciate you coming on here, buddy, and I really appreciate that brisket. Let everybody know all the other places they can find out about your stuff, and then we got to run to commercial.
Yep. SmokeOnTheFarm.org, MasonHillsFarm.com. You can come by our store. Give us a call at 251-865-7748. Follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Guys, I appreciate it. I'm going to get back out here and cook for Talladega and then head back home.
Joe,
right.
thank you so
Safe
much,
travels.
buddy. Thank you so much.
See you.
Yes.
Sir.
Yeah, I think I want to get camel toe.
Drinking lots of carrot juice and soaking.
Never eat camel, just toe.
Hey, my buddy Joey from Mason Hills Farm back in studio.
No, I love it.
What's been going
Thanks
on
for
at the farm?
jumping in.
It has been a while. We've been
Does it
busy
all.
taking care of business and
I
making
was
plans
thinking
for our
about
next event.
that first.
Okay. What's up next? October 11th,
Well,
12th,
because of the
13th,
fire marshal,
barbecue
he couldn't
competition
turn the flat
along
grill
with the
up
SCA
enough.
state competition
He had
to
it
raise
about
money for our
300,
friends and good
325.
partners. This
So
is
it
our
kept
chance
the
to give
brisket
back.
burning.
So right now we're asking
It kept
folks to
warming.
be
Now
part
it's
of the
taking it
event
15
by visiting our
minutes to cook
website
burger.
at smokeonthefarm.org
To get it
and sign
medium
up
well,
either
so-
as a sponsor
So a
of
lot of
Smoke on
people
the
are like,
Farm or
okay,
enter as a
medium
team
rare.
for the barbecue competition, the SCA
But,
state cook-off. We're also looking for vendors.
It's
Tickets
just
are
so damn
available
good.
at our website at
And I don't know what
smokeonthefarm.org.
sauce
Okay, so
to
there's
use.
two
I
parts
had
going on
some
here.
of the
First of all,
stuff at
you're
the,
giving the
the,
call out to
Dixie
these
Fit
folks like you,
Picture.
like
Already
pro
had the judges,
and the cooking and barbecue teams out there.
competition.
But then those of us that like to be connoisseurs
the,
and just can come eat it, we get to come too.
Liars
Yeah, so we'll have
competition.
a bunch of Chefs Awards
Plus,
for
we
this.
had the
There'll be
tomahawk
live
at,
music.
the
It's like Memphis in May. Okay, except it's right here at home. That's correct. Just like Mason Hills Farm. Joey, we appreciate it. Once again, the website, smokeonthefarm.org.
Yeah, very good.
Is your
My
source for
award-winning
award-winning local
my
news,
dad's side were
in-depth
cattle in
investigative
Collins,
reporting,
Mississippi. We used to get 'em.
commentary, cuisine reviews,
They had
and
four
arts and
sons.
entertainment coverage, as
And
well
all
as the
four
best
sons
sports
got half
pages
the
in
cow every
Alabama.
year. for Christmas.
Land is your local
My
newspaper.
grandpa used to
No
do that
one
when he was
covers
a kid.
this area like we
We
do.
he'd read
Find
like
us
English.
around town in one of our Regal Purple boxes.
That's a lot of meat.
or you can
Yeah.
purchase a Lanyap digital subscription for just
My
21
grandfather
cents a
used to
day.
bitch
Not
about
only
his
do
next
you
door
help us
neighbors.
continue
Next
to
door
give you a
neighbors, they
great
were raised
paper,
brimmer
you
bulls.
also get access to lanyapmobile.com
Tell
on
them
up to
that.
5 devices,
Huh?
as well as almost daily
That's,
web only
that's, they
content,
got the big
breaking
pump on their
news,
side.
and
Brahma.
access to the
Brahma.
Lanyap
Brahma.
archive
Brahma.
and podcast.
I've never heard of it.
Again,
They always
it's
call it
just
Brahma.
21 cents a day to sign up for a Lanyap digital
Yeah,
subscription.
that's
So sign up today
Angus
at
is a big old dude.
my.lanyapmobile.com.
Shit.
That's
Especially with little dudes. I got trapped in my
my.lanyapmobile.com
grandpa's
and help keep Mobile
corral,
funky.
real muddy. Mud, like,
Are you prepared for an
You know,
emergency or disaster?
Foot and a half.
Because it's not a matter of if.
Well,
I couldn't move to get out of that boy's way for nothing.
Time to find a
when I was
pet-friendly
growing up,
evacuation center will have run
there's
out.
this huge tract of land that's
Scorching
between
heat wave will
Moffett,
leave me powerless to
Fire
keep
Tower,
up.
and Ward's Lane.
Mhm.
And that's where we lived on that.
Now,
But
that's
this
a
guy
tough
owned
pill to
this
swallow.
property right
Let's
next to my
prepare so we
grandfather,
all
who was
have a
40.
better story to tell.
My
Get
grandfather
started
raised
at
Holstein.
ready.gov/older
But a buddy of mine in the neighborhood and I would walk to the end of our neighborhood, go into the woods, and go to this creek, Double Branch, this Double Branch, Will's neighborhood. And we had to go by a cow pasture with a Brahma bull. And we stayed as far from that fence line as we could. But there's this the little Double Branches down there, there's a waterfall that formed this beautiful, deep pool of crystal clear water full of fish. There's probably less than 100 people that have ever seen it.
FM Talk 1065. For more than a decade, Sip and Chew with Mike and Steve on FM Talk 1065.
Mike, it's important that we point out to folks that Joey joined us on the Callahan's Irish Social Club call and text line.
he did.
Yeah. And we want to thank Callahan's for making that possible.
Absolutely. I also want to thank a few more people. I want to thank Bob's Downtown Diner on the corner of Fat and Happy. You know where it is. We've been telling you for years where it's at. And get down there. I see you already on Facebook. Several of my friends are there. already getting them some morning grub.
They know they're safe from you visiting because you're on the radio.
That's right. That's right. I done had breakfast this morning. And we want to thank Hall Sausage and Wholesale Meats. Get out there and ask for it by name. And then not today, but Monday through Saturday, get over there on Florida Street and go support Butch Cassidy's and that gang over there of fine folks that work there. And go step next door and get you an ice cream from Tammy's too.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So, anyway, so what else you got on your plate today, so to speak? See what I did there?
Yeah. Nothing.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. I had thought about, I want to, the Halloween episode, you know, I do a special episode for Halloween every year on Delta Safari. The first year I did The Legend of Callioca Road. And last year I dealt with the downing of Night Ship 285, which, in case Steve doesn't know, was a plane that took off 2005, I think, from Brooklyn, crashed in the Delta after colliding with something mid-air that the National Transportation Safety Board and FAA have never identified. To this day, they don't know why this plane crashed. But it landed in like knee-high deep water. So anything that it hit should have had debris there as well.
Right.
There is no debris from anything else.
Not that they said that they found.
Well, you had lots of local law enforcement stuff out there. If they'd have found something, it would have got. There's just
right.
Yeah, and so this year I'm thinking of going out to Blakely because there are ghosts that roam the Blakely battlefield.
Yeah, I will tell you firsthand. Not that I did, but we used to take our Boy Scouts there once a year, and at night, you know, at certain times of year, the mist sets in.
Yeah.
And then the boys right there, they would do this game after dinner called Capture the Flag, and they'll wear them out so they'd go to bed early, get their tips, go to bed. Well, they went out there and they come back, walking back real quiet, and they go, we go, y'all hadn't even played yet. What's going on? They said, there's something out there. And they went and got around the campfire and stayed there.
Yeah, because you've got a lot of graves out there. A lot of the men who died in the battle. I've been looking up some of the numbers. The Union had 45,000 troops. The South had about 4,000. Wow. So it wasn't going to go well. The Union had about 600 casualties, and the Confederacy had about 2,500. And so, like I say, it did not go well for the Southern Border. It was the battle began the same day that Robert E. Lee surrendered. And so it is the last major battle of the Civil War. And there are rumored to be ghosts. There is an actual ghost tour.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try and take it if I can. But I was going to go today, and then I realized on the website I have to get written permission to do any filming.
Yeah.
So I need to go through that process.
Yeah, Brandon was in a paranormal group. My son Brandon was in a paranormal group. They always would go out there and monitor stuff. Likely, but Spanish Florida states, they call them they're kind of in purgatory. They're not settled. They didn't. Some of them didn't get proper burial, and all different reasons, and they're just kind of out there. And
in and out of.
He knew all that stuff. I don't, and I got a good night's sleep that night.
Have you ever had a feature on Oakley?
No. Probably next year. What I'm going to do is there's like some haunted tree at the Church Street Cemetery, and do that. And then Oakley's on the list too. My sister-in-law used to read ghost stories to children at Oakley every year. She was young. They would bring school groups through there, and
so say, don't they have a tour and that kind of thing this time of year that does all that?
We got a lot of old stuff here.
Y'all join a paranormal group. There's a couple of them in Mobile, and that's what they do. They've stayed at Oakley. They've stayed at all the little haunted. But they said the most haunted place is Fort Gaines. They said that's the most haunted thing they've ever been to and experienced was Fort Gaines.
Yeah.
And all this lays in Halloween.
Exactly. And I generally, my intro will be totally different. I do a custom intro for these, some custom music for it.
Yeah, of course.
And I usually spend I've been working on parts of the video since June.
It's not like you don't have 300 years worth of material in Mobile.
Right. It helps be interesting. I'll tell you, I've been doing a lot of shorts on YouTube, just discussing the historical things going on here, the Clotilda, the Battle of Mobile Bay, and those shorts are getting huge right
Well,
now.
I'm gonna tell you, one thing I want to know more about that I found out about last Mardi Gras was Massacre Island.
Tell me more.
Dolphin Island. That's what the French called it when they came here.
Massacre Island?
1699. When they got there, there was skeletal remains just piled up. And they think maybe it was a civilization that had a disease or something, but apparently that's where the Indians were bringing the bodies to I guess rot or whatever.
Right, bury them.
And bury. So now they have a Mardi Gras organization down there on the island now, and they have quite a parade, Massacre Island Parade, Mardi Gras Society. And I'll tell you who knows more about it is Gene Fox.
Yeah.
So we ought to get him on one day as we get close to Mardi Gras, talk about it. Yes. But
yeah, I did a short last week about the Amtrak derailment on Bio-Canot that has been the most viewed thing I've done so far. And last week it's had almost 5,000 views.
Wow.
And then I did one Friday about the CSS Hunley, and it's at 2,400 views since Friday. Yeah, so
cool.
And then I got one dropping tomorrow that is the brief history of the USS Alabama.
D'Iberville led the French explorers to colonize in 1699. They found numerous skeletons, perhaps the remains of a lost colony. Cried out in Colin.
And there's some record of some stews, some type of stew they ate on Dolphin.
Gumbo.
Some type of stew they ate on Gumbo.
The first recorded history of gumbo being served in the New World was at Dolphin Island, Alabama. And if you come up in...
Did they lick the pot to find that out, don't they?
I don't know. But another thing is Coden. You're familiar with Coden, Alabama, which is that patch of land right before you go into Dolphin Island.
Yeah.
And there's a township there.
Right.
The name comes from the pirate Lafitte, who sailed up into Mobile Bay, and he saw this isthmus sticking out into the water, and on the end of it was a turkey. And he said, we'll name this Cote the End. Island of the Big Chicken, basically. And and as the years went by, Cote the End just got slurred into Coden.
You know,
that's interesting.
I love our neighbors in Louisiana, but you know, the French were here first.
Oh yeah.
Mobile was the capital of Louisiana.
Yes, it was.
And then Biloxi, and then it went on, but we were here first.
Yeah.
And I saw anyway, not afraid about.
No, Lafitte was the pirate that got into the coves up in New Orleans.
Yeah. All over the Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
Folks, get out there, support local, be local, buy local.
Snort local.
Yeah, go fish local and chase ghost local.
Oh, and also chase Robolo.
Bye.
Like a